We're now going to be answering questions from our readers. And the questions are in a jar.
Which I have right here.
Lincoln is controlling the questions, which makes me very nervous. But
as it should.
Yes.
These are questions we solicited from members of our bulletin board, and they very kindly have donated many questions, and we have no idea what they are. We're going to pull them out of a virtual hat here, and let me start with this one. How do you feel about the many fans' negative reaction of Viola? Well, we take it very personally, as we do with all of our characters. I'm only half joking about that.
Yes, how dare you? Who asked that question?
Really, this is just outrageous. Viola is a character that we were going to have Pendergast romantically associated with, but it hasn't seemed to work out quite the way we expected it to, and she hasn't appeared in the last several books. And we begin to think there's a reason for that. So whether or not she's going to reappear, it's anybody's guess. But the fact is, Pendergast now may have other possible romantic connections developing in this trilogy we're writing now. So I'm thinking personally that Viola's role is probably going to be less and less as the series goes on.
All right, now it's my turn. Okay, here we are. Mr. Preston, is it true that you are the creative genius of the duo and that Link is just a figurehead? A very good question. Yes, it is true. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I misread the question. Is Pendergast going off the deep end? He seems a little sadistic lately. Wow. Well, you know, we don't really know Pendergast that well. He's very unpredictable. And who knows what's going on with him? I mean, he's sort of opaque. We have as much... he's as close to us as he is to some of our readers. For example, we didn't even know his first name for the first couple of books. And we do not know what his middle initials stand for yet. So Pendergast is slowly revealing himself to us. It's true that madness runs in his family, and anything could happen.
And if I may add to that, the poor guy has been subjected to some pretty awful things in the most recent books. So if he is acting kind of angry and maybe even sadistic, there's probably a pretty good reason for it. Shall I take the next one?
Please.
Why, you're too kind. Will there ever be any more adventures including Nora Kelly, Viola Mascaline, or Margot Green, especially Viola? What is it with this obsession with Viola? I mean, either I have unlucky fingers or there's a real thread of Viola lovers out there. There will definitely be more adventures starring Nora Kelly, almost definitely Margot Green, and I already answered the Viola question. That's a very big question mark. What do you think, Doug?
I don't know. You know, that's the great thing about this series is that anything can happen and we don't really know the future, do we? I mean, we have some ideas of what's going to happen, but, you know, who knows?
I will say that we like Nora and we like Margot very much as characters, and that really makes it likely they will reappear in some form or other. But, you know, they've both been subjected to some pretty awful things recently, and they're off resting right now and recuperating.
We almost killed Margot off, but thank God she survived.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, how we, in an earlier session, how we almost killed her off, we lost our nerve, and thank God we did, because we might not be alive here to tell you about it otherwise.
You know, it's fun playing God, isn't it?
Yes, it is, up to a point.
All right, I guess it's my turn to find another question. When is the next Pendergast book coming out? I just received Fever Dream today and cannot wait to start it. Well, the next Pendergast book, you know, publishing works on a year advance. So the next Pendergast book we just finished last week. We still have some tinkering to do, but it'll be published next year about this time. We do not have a title for it yet. We were going to call it Cold Vengeance, but our publisher did not react favorably to that title, so now we're back to square one.
Yeah, that received a very frozen silence when we ran that one up the masthead.
We had an earlier one too that was rejected. What was that?
Revengeance.
How about Foulmire, wasn't it?
Yeah, Foulmire, a nod to Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, that one was also rejected. So we've got a very difficult editor. She's really picky.
Very prickly too, yeah, but we love her anyway.
Yes.
Okay, my turn. Is it true Doug Preston was recently arrested for lewdness and indecent exposure? I don't want to comment on that. No, I'm kidding, but I'm not going to answer this question. The question is, what's Viola up to? T-O-O. Enough about Viola. May I choose another question, Doug?
Go ahead. We got to do something about Viola here. Maybe we should kill her off.
Well, or else make her, replace Pendergast or something. Do you guys know that there is a state called Montana? It's vaguely familiar. Have you heard of it?
Montana? Is that somewhere near Iowa? Or?
I am trying to convert the entire population, but a visit would be helpful, say to Missoula. Heck, I'd even settle for Spokane, Washington, if you really can't do Montana. Although, of course, you are missing the most beautiful state in the Union. Well, we're not here to do any kind of tourism features. I have to say I'm allergic to the Mississippi River, so I'm probably not going to go west of it. But Doug may show up there someday.
Well, actually, I've spent quite a bit of time in Montana. I love Montana. I did when I was younger. I did a lot of backpacking in the Bitterroot Mountains and Glacier National Park, and was almost eaten by a grizzly bear. So, yeah, I like Montana. So, Missoula, here we come.
Go ahead.
Right.
Take one more.
Okay, here we go.
Better not be about Viola.
No, it's another question about you. No, and it's given his current condition, can we readers expect the Augusta in the next book, third book? Also, will Hayward continue her torturous duty to Pendergast? Well, De Augusta was pretty severely wounded, and but he is recovering, and during the course of the next novel, he does recover enough to manage a trip to Scotland, although he's very weakened, and the trip to Scotland is not for pleasure. Let's see, will Hayward continue? Hayward will continue to have a very difficult relationship with Pendergast. The two just differ philosophically on, police work.
Needless to say, although De Augusta won't like hearing this, I have a real hot song for Hayward, so I will make sure she does appear in one form or another in the future books.
Lincoln also has the hots for Constance and for Viola.
Not Viola, no.
No, you don't like
at least if I did, I don't have it anymore after all these questions.
What was that Greek myth about the fellow who falls in love with his statue? You're like that fellow.
John Wayne, wasn't it?
No, the fellow, the sculptor who falls in love with the statue he created and spends his whole life worshiping this piece of marble.
I can think of worse fates than that.
So he's falling in love with all our characters. I think there's something wrong here. I think you better see a psychiatrist about that.
I'm comfortable with myself about that. We also wanted to let you know that as a final installment of the Summer with Preston and Child, we have two events coming up June 11th and 12th. The first one on June 11th is going to be Blog Talk Radio.
If you can get 10 friends together and contact us, all the details are here at the website. We will talk to you live for 10 minutes and answer all your most outrageous questions.
We want to join your party. Well, we want to thank you very much for being here for all three sessions, for signing in, for checking up, and for your interest and your continuing interest in our books. Thank you very much. See you out there in the virtual world.
Bye.